What's in it for the black people? A minute. For the black people. 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 For the black people.
WIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Mayor Lightfoot seems more being in black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get the Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System to milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. I don't know what's going on. We've been having some challenges this morning, so I think we back, though. So if you are locked and loaded with us, give me a thumbs up. Do something in the chat. Just let me know you're here with us. I've been having a little technical difficulty, but hopefully we are back in the building, back on the map. It is Friday, January 27th, and I got to be honest with y'all. I gotta be honest. I try to be honest with you all the time, so that's not something new, like I'll be lying or something. Today is the Community Builder Awards, and I am fired up tonight for the work that we have been doing. I'm excited. You know, it's interesting. And we'll talk, you know what, I'm going to talk about a little bit later, because I guess that's part of my Tell Me Something Good Friday. I was thinking that I was having a tough Tell Me Something Good Friday, because it's been a tough week, right? I've been in this mud. It's like when I'm in here quiet and I have quiet time with myself, and it has not always been the easiest. But I got to tell you, I'm excited about tonight. It's been such a crazy week, and there's a lot going on. But tonight, the Community Builder Awards, the first one. But you know, I am honored to have the ability to. This is one of the reasons why I want to go back into the business world, because I think that there's opportunities that we miss. And sometimes I'm so angry being on the show because I read the paper that I miss all the opportunities to get stuff done. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit later on tonight. But hopefully, if you have RSVP'd, you will be there tonight with your fly gear on. We're going to be giving out some. Now, I want y'all to know this is not going to be a stuffy. I'll talk about it some more, but it's not going to be a stuffy award ceremony now. And don't come knocking on it. If you ain't RSVP, don't be hitting me up, talk about Maze, and you're going to be seeing all the pictures and all the social media, and you're going to be like, and I told y'all in advance, right? I gave y'all the first crack at RSVPing. You didn't. And then last night I was out, didn't plan to be out so much. But then it was like they started talking about the after party. I was like, we don't even got an after party. They was like, we going to have an after party. And yeah, we going to be doing it. We're going to be looking at the... Hey, man. It is going to be a great night tonight, so y'all make sure y'all get ready for it. I've been running around here. Shout out to onThe. Shout out to Chicago News Weekly. Cheryl Maynard and her whole staff over there putting everything together. Yes, shout out to Ani, my client. You need what? That's interesting. Hey, man, economics is real in this world. I tell you, hey, man, everybody got requests. Everybody wants a withdrawal, but nobody want to put a deposit down. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because I do think we got to talk about what our aspirations are, what is the future. So I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler in here on the ones and twos. DJ Riis the Ruler, how you feeling this morning, this Friday?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest, man. I actually feeling good. I actually slept through a night. You know, I don't really sleep through too many nights. But I actually slept through a night and only woke up to get up for work. You
know what? That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling when you get to just sleep. Like when it don't be no distract. Like
it was only like 5 hours, but it was just.
Hey man, 5 uninterrupted hours.
Wake up or nothing. I just woke up. I was like, what time? Oh,
it's time to go to work. Dang, you mean I didn't?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know that feeling. Actually. Those are the feelings. Like when I go to bed a half hour earlier than I typically do, I can always tell the difference. I be fighting to sleep, and I don't know what's the difference between why if you sleep in the chair and you sleep in the bed is different. Is it the horizontal? Is it uninterrupted sleep? I don't know what it is, but I know this. I noticed that when I sleep all the way through the night, or you sleep to the alarm and the alarm wake you up, you be like, oh. And I didn't wake up no times. I had to wake up yesterday because I had to crack the door, because it be cooking in our room at night. Like you get in, it's all cozy when you close the door and it's like cook. Now Sleep Number, I gotta call Sleep Number up, because maybe I call Dak up since he's sleeping too. And call Dak up and be like, hey man, I need to get my cooling jets. I can feel it on my feet, but sometimes I don't feel the air kick on underneath me. But I will tell you, good sleep is necessary to get it done. I didn't realize how important sleep was. Like, I think there was a time when we thought that the less we slept, it made us Iron Men. But what I find is that if I get a good night's sleep, I can power through the day. So look, y'all, that's a good thing, man. Slept all the way through the night. Got you an action-packed day. So let's do this, man. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler. Riis, let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up and away. I was doing my headlines, but I just realized that I did not put on there that it is in NFL playoff weekend. This is the AFC championship. So AFC and NFC championships. So what is it? It is the Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and it is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Shoot. So I gotta tell you, out of all of this, I know y'all gonna be mad at me. I think I want the Bengals. to win the Super Bowl. Hey, man, think about this. If you think about it, every time the loser of the Super, it went in reverse this year. Typically, the loser of the Super Bowl falls off the map. This year, the winner of last year's Super Bowl fell off the map. And the Bengals are playing for the championship again to go back. So if you think about it, every year when you lose like the losing Super Bowl team, they usually go shoo. The winning Super Bowl team is usually in contention. This year it went in reverse. And hey man, dang man, I'm sorry, but I like Joe Cool. And I like that he Joe. Hey, I'm sorry. I don't want my quarterback running for more yards than passing. And I feel like that is I'm waiting for the evolution, and I think Patrick Mahomes is actually this, right? Is the evolution but he's not the black quarterback. He's the gray quarterback.
What you mean, man?
I mean, he's blended.
The one drop rule, man. He black.
I'm with you. But he trying to get his drops back. He trying to get that drop out. You seen everything in the P. Mahomes camp? Yeah, man. Anyway, shout out to everybody who is going to be watching. You know what? I think last week I canceled the playoffs at the spot because I knew I had some things hanging on my mind. But I do think we are going to watch the games on Sunday at Obsidian. Did I take the soul plane off? Okay, I took the soul plane off. So yeah, we're going to watch the games. I think we're going to fly to wait. Oh, you know what the best part was when he said cancel. Remember when they had it planned for Buffalo and what was it? Buffalo and Kansas City, and they said we gonna play it in Indianapolis, and Joe Burrow and them said, why don't y'all cancel them? You can cancel your tickets because he got a chip on his shoulder, dog. He got a chip on his shoulder, and he got the wild. You see his chain?
Yeah, but I kind of want KC to win.
I don't.
Too good. I believe we looking at. To me, I believe we looking at the next evolution. In my era, I used to look at Tom Brady
and Peyton Manning.
I believe that these two have stepped it up. You know, I believe that I believe that the AFC is ran right now by Patrick Mahomes, and I believe you got to show what this would be. 4 out of 5 years or something like that.
How many bowls did they get though?
3 out of 4.
How many Super Bowls?
Then this would be 3 out of 4 if they win, because I think they went and then they lost.
Right, they won once.
Right, they won and won. Yeah, so you know,
because he played Tom Brady, right?
Huh?
He played Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
When did he win? Who did they beat?
I forgot who they.
Exactly.
But it probably was a good team.
I think they beat the Rams. Didn't the Rams go? I don't know. We had to check that up. It's up there. Tony Medlin, what's up, man? When the Bears going to the bowl, dog? Because I'm waiting. I'm gonna tell you, man. I might have to go to the NFL draft. I got to give them 3 years. You got to give them 3 years, right? You got to put all these players that they gonna get. You got to hope they don't break Justin Fields, because you know how you the Russian champion, right? I don't want Saquon Barkley. I don't.
We can get him.
Mm-hmm. They was talking about getting Saquon Barkley and like trading down because he's a free agent this year.
Free agent.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. He been janky, dog. It's like when we pick up the janky guys and you be hoping on. Look at what's my man Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack was definitely good here.
1 year, then he was hurt all the rest of the time. He opened up the season with a strip sack touch. They was like, and that's why you drafted him. And then we ain't see nothing else.
I mean, when you the only one doing something, it's kind of hard.
Robert Quinn led the league in sacks, bro.
Yep. See, but sometimes it could be from him, like rushing, and they got the 2-3 on him.
Here goes Spin Master.
Quinn can
get somebody. Mercury Communications. Somebody come give DJ Riis Rula a job as a public affairs consultant, because he will make every story work.
I spin it all, but yeah. But no, I see us. No times. I mean, like we have a chance, right? Right now with the number one pick to do some things. I don't think we use.
We can rate ban Devin.
I think
Devin in here talking smack. Hey man, you better cool out, Mr. Boston. You probably a Celtics fan. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's gonna be some good games this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the playoffs this weekend. I need some good stuff. So I got Friday night. We got the Big You Dig. And so we got this Big You Dig tonight. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later. But I got the Big You Dig tonight. Then tomorrow, to bring me right back down to earth, my daughter called me up and said, "Hey, Dad, can you put my TV stand together?" I was like, "Sure, daughter, I'll put it together." But then she had a schedule. I was like, "What's that?" Then she had a schedule. She put me on a schedule. I'm like, "So wait a minute. You called me, asked you to do your favor, but then she got a new little gig she doing this weekend that I was told I'm not supposed to talk about because they say I could hurt my daughter." No, being associated with your dad. That I really sometimes that type of stuff really kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't tell nobody that's your daughter because then they gonna hate on you because it's your daughter, right? Like that hurts a little bit, but it's okay. I'm gonna stop talking about it. And then we got the playoffs, and then my birthday is on Monday. Even though I have low birthday expectations this year. I am not having a party. I don't feel right having a party knowing that later on this week we will be, I guess I gotta call it celebrating the homegoing. But we got a homegoing this week, and I just don't feel like having no big old party or no big old shindig. So Monday will be the birthday, but I don't get it twisted. I do expect my birthday presents. I'm gonna tell y'all, this is how I see it. It's a lot of people in the world that I do a lot of stuff for all the time, and everybody take it for granted. But it's okay. It's gonna be a day when I'm gonna just be like, "Sorry, that's not my problem. I don't got nothing to do with that," right? And then it's gonna be like, "Why are you acting funny?" I'm gonna be like, "Cause I take notes, right? I take notes on who celebrates my birthday, or not celebrates, but make sure they reach out for me on my birthday, not Facebook reach out. I also count who, that's all right. I keep a list though. I keep all these lists, and then I don't look at them until I look at them. And then when I look at the list, then I get pissed off. Cause I'd be like, hold on. You, and you, and you. And you too? But it's okay. Like, that's part of the reason I got to get out of the black altruism too, because it's like it's a thankless job. It's thankless to be out here running up the hill. But it's okay because it's like, as long I don't got a dog, but as long as your family love you and the dog wag his tail when you come home, that's really all you should expect in the world. So that's what I'm going to take it. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, on the ones and twos. Community Builder Awards tonight. Last night, shout out to Christopher Devine, who let me know. I saw his post in the Lions Den about the WCPT debate, which is basically the socialist debate. I'm going to play some clips from that. I do keep a list like saying, naughty and nice. Right? I'd be like, because I got a price tag over everybody. Like you ever see that, I don't know what show it was. Do you ever watch Billions? You ever watch Billions? Okay, on Billions this last season, when they would show a person, they'll put a price tag. They'll put a list next to him and a price tag, and they'll be like, he has on a $30,000 watch, a $10 pair of shoes, a blah, 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 and they give you a total. I start to look at things like that. I'd be like, grr, 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 grr. Then I'd be like, all right. What I really want is a Philippe Petit. Nah, I'm just talking. I feel like I need I don't know. It's going to be a good, you're going to watch the 1619 show. What's the 1619 show? You said you're going to watch see, here y'all come on here. Don't start me this morning. Y'all don't come on here and promote somebody else's show. That's what you're going to do? Right here? On the Maze Jackson Show? That's okay, I'm petty today. I'm probably going to stay out the comments today because I'm feeling a little aggressive anyway. So, it is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Early voting started yesterday. 69 West Washington and the Super Site
Hey, did y'all see the new J Mall? J Mall said he's so busy he got 2 J Malls. 2. You see him? I'm gonna show y'all the other J Mall a little later on today. Cause somebody petty sent me. It's 2 J Malls now though. Maybe can I? Hold on, let me see if I can get it out there for you. I'm gonna put it on I'll show it to you later on the screen, but I'm gonna put it up. But here go. Let's see if we can zoom in. Outside of the polling place, it was a new J Mall. Can y'all see that? J Mall said, I'm so busy that I got to clone myself. And so he is campaigning with 2 people. It's a J Mall and a J Mall dummy. I mean, not dummy, mascot. So J Mall Green got a mascot that's standing outside the polling place. Y'all go. Somebody go get me some pictures. Somebody go take pictures with the mascot. I want everybody to take a picture with the mascot and let us know how that goes. Let me see what else we got. Did you see CPS has said that they're now going to, instead of looking at your standardized testing, they are going to look at your science and social studies grades. If they do that, I'd be off the chain. Actually, I like standardized tests though. Like that. Do y'all remember taking a Scantron test? A, B, C, D. You need 2 number 2 pencils. And you be like A, B, C, D. Did you? Standardized test, what was it, like 50 questions? And you had the Scantron with 25, and then you turn it over, and then you do the whole thing, and then they run it through the Scantron machine.
I was different by the time we got there. It was called Iowa and Asset Test.
So the standardized Iowa testing was the same thing I had.
Yeah, but we only had, everything was like on like one.
Everything all in one? Yeah. You ain't have like an English, math.
But they had all the little bubbles. It was just like was a section. So like you know how you said it was 25 on one that you can bubble in 25. No, they gave you like it was one sheet. So like one sheet that had like your bubble questions for this 1 through 50 on there, and then it was like one sheet.
See, we had the Scantron where you had to put it in there, and then it'd be like chick 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 chick. Then it turn it over chick 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 chick. Then you get it back, and then we used to compare in class and be like, how many you miss? Right, like when we was in class, it used to be like if you had anything under 90, we was dogging you.
And then we didn't do, when we was in school, we didn't do it by like percentages. So after you took it, you sent it in, and if you was in 6th grade, you had to be like you couldn't be like to pass it no lower than like 0.3 under. So like you had to have like a 5.7 or like a high. It was like that's like how they did it. So like if you was, so I was real good at math. So like when I took a 6th grade math, I would always test to like 9th and 10th grade in my math. So stuff like that. So they did it by that. Like they did it based off what you answered, what grade level you was reading, writing, and all that stuff at.
Really? So
that's how we did it. So you'll look at you would get your grades, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm reading at a 12th grade level, and you could be in 8th grade. You're like, oh, I know, like I'm. So we did it like that.
Okay. We did it like I was in a class, in the honors class, where like if you missed 3 questions or 4 questions, everybody was like, you ruined our average, man. Get out of here.
I went to Chicago public school. We didn't have honors, and like.
Yeah, I had honors.
In 8th grade.
Yeah, I did.
No, we didn't.
There had to be an honor roll in the dean's list.
I mean, it was an honor roll list for getting like A's and B's, but it was like no honors classes. Like you don't
wait, you didn't have honors? Yeah, they did. They had to have honors.
No. I don't know. In my generation, please tell me if somebody went to school in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm telling you, it was no.
So that boy, you just got to jump. Like, what did the smart kids do in CPS then? Like you
smart.
And they didn't challenge you? They didn't make you take AP history?
There was no AP history. What are you talking about? You was just a smart kid. You was really smart, and you probably did like other programs. So like it'd probably be like special programs.
Like you was on the chess team.
no, we didn't have money to afford a chess team. And nobody.
How much does a chessboard cost, dog?
Nobody. First of all, you got to tell Pookie to learn how to play chess.
I'm still trying to learn how to play chess.
But checkers, though, we probably
I slam anybody in checkers. Did you play Flying Kings in checkers?
What is Flying Kings? Like a slide.
The king can go all the way.
Yeah.
He could jump you all the way, but it had to be a space behind
Tell
it.
me that, if you tell me that my king can't slide, I don't want to play with you. Like,
right, I don't want to play. What's the point of getting the king? He can move one.
I'm moving one. Oh, so you could jump backwards? What? You crazy? But we never. And I don't know no school ever heard anybody unless it was like one of them like a private or uppity CPS school. No, you just had the regular classes. It's like sometimes.
So where did the smart kids go?
Like you had to be probably really, really, really smart in like kindergarten and first grades, like to where you was so excelled, and they may push you one grade up, but like that was it. And so like you went one grade up, and if programs came like an Excel reading or something like that, then you get to pick like your smart kids to go and learn, and then they just send it to them like that. But it was a class of 30 of us with 27 books.
Did they have a row? How is that possible? I don't understand how it's possible to have a school with no books. That's ridiculous. So who shared? The people who wasn't gonna finish no way.
You know what I'm saying?
You keep it tonight. You take it
just
tonight.
give me the answers when you're done. But yeah. So yeah, but I never. It wasn't no AP for us.
No what? No honors classes? Like y'all ain't have like honors and then AP and
high school.
Okay, we called it challenge. Like in 4th grade, like they pulled me out and was like, oh, remember after my teacher kept putting my grades on the board. And and it was funny because when I went to challenge all the white kids who thought they were smart, like I was like, I'm smarter than you. And then it would be like, he's in challenge. But challenge was terrible because it was like I was like the only black kid for so long. Then when we had honors, then that's when it changed when we went to 6th, 7th, and 8th. Because when you was in challenge, in grammar school, we stopped at 5th grade, but you didn't switch class. Like they started switching classes, but if you was in challenge, you didn't switch no classes. You stayed with the same group the whole time. Then when I got to middle school, then you could switch into like, you might be honors math or honors English, but not be in all honors classes. Like me, I was in all honors classes, and then when I got to be a junior, I said, I don't want no more of this honor stuff because I can't be with the black people. And it's like, they would be like, you know what I'm saying? I had the best fun.
Not the black people. They had no black people in the honors class.
It would be like, not really, dog, it would be like you, so it was the same group of us all the time, and then one class, here come Eric Ralph, because he was smart in math, or here come John Riis stayed with us. But it would be like, it was really, when you got to high school, like middle school, it was okay.
Yes, I was.
In high school, though, it was like there were really no black kids in honors, and the black kids that was in honors, I was from BJ Ward, they was at Humphrey, so they was already acting fun. Man, please. Junior year, I was like, take all of this. Look, I was on path to be able to graduate from high school junior year. But my parents like, you gonna keep going to high school. So I dropped out of all my honors classes because I had enough classes to graduate after I had enough, because when you took honors classes, you got double credit. Yeah. So I had enough credit to graduate by my junior year, like second semester of junior year. So I did co-op and got out, but I stopped taking all the honors classes because it was like I didn't really meet any of the black people, right? Because you'll be in these classes, everybody else be kicking it. They be kicking the bobo. I'll be like, I'm off to honors advanced placement English, and now I'm reading Sophocles. I don't want to read no Sophocles. Vocabulary test. Y'all don't got vocabulary tests? Man, they was having us say all these crazy words. I still use the words from high school, but I remember being like, man, it ain't no more black people in none of these classes. Then when I got out of, man, I had the best time of my life once I got out of honors in high school. Lord have mercy, Jesus. I was like, this what y'all been doing this whole time?
I'm gonna just say one thing. As I was my senior year, like how you had like a home, like a home shop and whatnot.
Homeroom.
Yeah, like the homeroom. Mm-hmm. So I came off first year, senior year, and for some strange reason, I guess they really did get my name wrong. I am in the room. I'm in the Polish room. I swear to you, I'm the only black. Is all Polish. Me as a black person and one Hispanic guy. That's all it is. We in there. They talking Polish, man. I found me the blackest homeroom, and I went in there. My homeroom saw me like a teacher was like, man, I haven't seen you in homeroom. I've been marking you absent and everything. I said, listen, I'm going to take no offense, but ain't nobody, I was like, I don't feel comfortable in that. They not speaking English the entire time. No English.
There has to. So let me tell you this, because there's a stigma to being smart and black, right? Sometimes they need if you were an honor student back in the day, I really feel like they needed a blend class, like a class that allowed you to meet everybody else. Because, man, Joe, I'm just telling you, it was terrible being in honors and being black at the same time. Because it was like most of the black kids, and I realized that they would push so many regular black kids from the, I talk about how much I love my high school, but when I talk to the black kids, they be like, man, I hated it there. It was the worst thing ever. I was like, y'all ain't coming to homecoming? Homecoming, nah. Coming to the class reunion? Nah, hell no. Salim asked, do I keep in contact with any of the honor students? Yes. The white people? The white people honor students, cuz they kicking it. They doing their thing. I be like, damn, I feel like a failure. Then I start counting. But I still feel like, I got friends, well, not friends, but people who was in my class that are nuclear physicists and all type of stuff, right? Like, they all type of, doing stuff. And it's just weird because I compare, and I feel like, dang, they was really smart. It's like I learned how to talk, but they knew how to do their thing. So anyway, yeah, Salim, I see them because they still come to the reunion because they be like, hi, I'm smart. And then it's a core group of us black guys. That's part my twins, Donald, Antoine, those of us that got involved in the school, we still come back to the reunions. But most of the black kids be like, nah. And then it's funny when the black kids, because you hype it up on social media, and then the people who wasn't really the black crew, when they come, they be like, I don't know any of these people. Because the class reunions be put together by the white people. I was on the committee one time. That's when we had the best DJ. We had it cracking. But when the white people do it, we be at some old bar. It'd be like we be in the upstairs room at the bar.
Yeah, Bill O'Ryan.
Man, Joe. When the white people play in the class reunion, the 1 year the black people had the class reunion, dog, we had the hotel. We took the whole joint. I had DJ.
Never again. The guy else in here. Never.
Man, Charlie. After that, the next one, we was in a bar. We was in a bar in Plainfield in the upstairs room. They barely had food. They was like, Charlie, but they had a band, and I still kicked it because I went down, and me, I'm going to kick it. If it's a live band, and I know all the old school, but they was playing Bon Jovi. I was like, all right, I'm having a good time. But when the white people do it, it'd be like, beers for everyone. I know. Black people came to the one. Then they came back to the next one. Then we started doing a black version of the reunion for the black people because it was a whole black crew. Then it's one giant class reunion for the black people across Bolingbrook and Romeoville, and all the black people show up to that, and there don't be no white people at it at all. Well, yeah, it do. It be the white girls that, Anyway, so that's what happened. I don't know how we got there, Riis. Science and social studies. Okay, yeah. Tony Preckwinkle is having a Black Joy celebration at the University of Chicago. Riis, what is it about me? Have you seen Madam President Tony Preckwinkle? There is nothing about her that communicates Black joy to me, but I feel like we should all go to this on February 1st at the Harris School of Politics at University of Chicago, because I really want to hear what you remember the last time we had a Tony Preckwinkle representative and we was talking about the next generation of black leaders, and he was like, look, Mays, I'm not going to do this with you. We are including the immigrants. We are here to take care of everyone. It was black leadership, and then it turned into migrants. I can't wait to hear Black joy. Can we all make it a field trip for February 1st to go to University of Chicago and hear Madam President Tony Preckwinkle talk about Black joy? Because I want to know where in the world she got that from. Anyway, she told me to hell with me, so I just want to go anyway. After you try to, anyway, let me stop there. Did you see this thing about the 5 police officers that beat the FedEx driver to death in a traffic stop in Memphis?
Yeah, you talking about the cops?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually wanted. Yeah, I saw it. You know it's.
Wait, what you
Yeah,
gonna
I
say?
saw it, and it's funny to me how it made national news. It was on every channel, and I'm gonna tell y'all now. Watch this, so you know how we come on here every day and we be like, these cops is out of control. These cops is out here killing these black people. And then that cop that killed a black person end up getting like a bad sentence, or is really not justified. Let me tell you something. Them black cops, the dumb fire cops, if you want to see justice get served, they finna
get
they
served.
finna serve
They
up justice.
all 5 of them is
Black.
already fired. All 5 of them are already charged. They've already lost all of their stuff. Now,
Come on, man. How many times we didn't seen that and we didn't demanded for that officer to be fired or they let them go with pay? You know what I'm saying?
so I'm in a
Suspended with pay.
conundrum with this, Reese. And the conundrum I have is, black cops, you done seen what has happened. In the face of George Floyd, y'all couldn't control yourself and y'all killed 145. 5 of y'all killed a 145-pound black man with family that had a job. I kind of feel like, Reese, I don't really have too much sympathy for them because you seen now I don't want to call it funny, but I do think everybody should pay attention to the fact that how swiftly it happened. And I'm not mad at it because I feel like if you did it to black people and you was black and all 5 of y'all and nobody said, hold up, cuz.
Like, I agree. I agree that.
But it
they
is
should, but-
ironic. Look, it took Jason Van Dyke, who we saw shoot a mug 16 times.
They sent them home with pay or something. But that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I say, you know how we always crying, fix crime, these cops and this. I said, if y'all want to see justice,
Let
if
her
y'all
black.
wanna-
So my thing is not my thing is, and I don't mean this to be bogus, but now if it wouldn't have been a brother, like my thing is, fam, where is the compassion for yourself? Like, if we know what happened with George Floyd, like, I am torn because I do recognize exactly what you're talking about. However, I feel like who fired him? Like, I want the black people to deliver justice to them, right? Quickly. Like, I feel like you killed one of us in one of them blue uniforms. I want their justice to be served by us. It's weird. I know exactly what you're saying, Reese. Because I was like, but I cannot defend the 5 cops. I know, but it is amazing that dude didn't even get locked up.
Jesus.
Mama.
And then I also, like, you ever seen, and they say a non-African American cop, I'm going to use that term, do a crime or something. Like, I feel like I always get a police officer picture on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, they've been showing the police officer pictures for them.
Man, I only seen a 5 and they like regular clothes, they're looking like convicts, like they
Already, everything I seen is always them 5 in the uniform.
No, but I ain't seen that chat. But I was just saying, like, look how the whole narrative changed. Of course, I do hope that they get what they deserve, but
I want the brothers to handle it.
But it's like at the same time. And now is when you decide to do the right thing. Now is when you want to, you know what, we not going to get it wrong this time.
Black police showing out for the white cop. Ice Cube will swarm on any with a blue uniform.
Hey, man, what about that blue? Huh?
Ooh, no. But blue somebody said that the chief of police was black. And if it was the chief that fired him and whacked him was black, then I want swift justice. But I really, like, if any white folks had anything to say. Again, I just can't defend, but I know it's like the iron. This is what be happening to black people. Man, we can't kill a black man and have a little bit more time.
We can't get no justice out here killing these cops out here killing these black kids, all that. And then they get and they home in a year or two, man. How long they get?
The video coming out today? Who said the video is coming out today? If that's my girl.
They finna get these black cops every maximum they can get. they finna get him.
You think the debt gonna go up?
Nope. And then we gonna cheer it on. Go ahead, get them black cops, They wrong. Understand, but just just know when it's the you know what I'm saying, the next time and it's a non-black cop, just know it won't be that.
Riis, but okay, it's my thing. It's 5 of y'all. Riis, I've been in the middle of some really brutal fights. Brutal. I'm talking about brutality at its finest. There's a time when even all of us be like, hey, cuz, he had enough. Right? Like, somebody has to say he had enough. And to be able to, and I don't know if I want to see the video, but they beat him for 3 minutes. You ever took a 5-minute fight is a long fight. That's a long fight. 5-on-1 with billy clubs, mace, and all of that. Whew. I think it's a special place for people that kill their own people. Last night, WCPT had its mayoral debate. I'm going to play some clips from that. Because your mayor is so... It's like... She must have split personalities. Because in 1 minute, she's talking about hope. And then she cursing people out the next minute. You! Hey, man, Riis. Are you allowed to point at people still? With your men... And like...
I mean, yeah, if you the mayor, why not?
I'm gonna be like, you gotta get your finger out my face. Don't point at me, Mom.
If you the mayor, why not? Who gonna
check me, boo? Them voters, cause she has. I be like, do you realize you are like, what is that, Sybil? You have split personalities in the same debate. I'm gonna play you some of this stuff because some of it is just like I didn't get through the whole thing, but I was like. No, I've got to stop and interrupt this. She just has no couth sometimes. It's just crazy.
She win, yeah. I'm letting y'all know. She gonna put a couple of y'all in y'all place.
She win. I'm telling you like this, right?
She gonna win a couple.
I'm moving back to Bolingbrook. I'm going to Bolingbrook, dog. I'm gonna be like, we gonna have dual residence, right? We gonna have dual residence because that's ridiculous. Let me see what else I got on my list. Trump has got his Instagram and Facebook accounts back, but his Twitter was in space.
Let's go, man.
Man, Chicago State football. Hey, man, see, Chicago State having a football team.
I think it's good.
I think it's good, too. A Division I football team. The challenge is, will the team be any good?
I mean, you know how teams start off. Of course, not right now.
How long they had a basketball team, cuz? Right. I've been going to Chicago State basketball games. The very first college basketball game I went to in like 1978 was Chicago State. Like, I feel like Chicago State should be a winning program because they should take all of the kids who don't qualify academically to go to the big schools. You know how many great Chicago players there are?
You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell me.
Man, Chicago State should be the epicenter of basketball.
Yeah, but you have to almost like have a recruiter that's like going out there in the streets looking for it. But yeah, that and I don't think that school should be. They should probably be like in a low Division I, maybe Division II. Like they can't compete against real Division I schools.
I bet if they went, let me tell you what.
Facilities, training, man, you can't.
It's a HBCU, man. They got to go get somebody like Michael Jordan to come back and be like, I'm coaching Chicago State.
No.
Who could come coach Chicago State and bring Riis? Like, seriously. Think about Chicago State. Think about all the bomb basketball players that go to college and then go to college gangbanging or something, and then they got to get kicked out. Do you know how many great basketball players are in Chicago right now?
Yeah, a lot. Trust me, a lot.
I feel like how we used to have DePaul, right? Where DePaul was a national powerhouse. Like, come on, man. Mark Aguirre, go coach Chicago State. Big Mark get together with Tim Hardaway. They go coach Chicago State and be like, yo, who we got in Chicago in football that could go bring recruits? Because every year it's about 5 Chicago recruits that come back home because they got with the Chicago people at their school and whoop somebody. I'm just telling you. But I'm wondering where the money coming from. And I think if they're going to get a Division I football team, Chicago State is going to not be black. All right. And then last one, Riis, your boy is back in the news. Juicy Smouye. You know, you ever heard somebody can you ever heard that song on Popeye? Leave well enough alone. Leave well enough alone. I know my stuff and I'm smart enough to leave well enough alone. Juicy Smouye is back talking about he wants to be with an appeal, saying he wants his name unaccused. Now, my thing is, who brought him back? Because you know this is right in time for election time. Not the mayor's election, but Juicy Smouye's appeal will be risen back to the top as Kim Foxx gets ready to go run again. If she's running again. I don't know if she's running again. I haven't heard very much. But Riis, that's kind of crazy.
You know, justice need to be served, so I agree with him, man. He got to come back.
I hope he gets served because I'm about tired of him. Somebody from Chicago need to go visit Juicy.
They already did. They tied a rapper like a noose around him. You ain't see the clip? Somebody already. That's the reason why.
Riis, did we have not? Okay, Chicago. Riis, here the telltale giveaway. He kept the sandwich.
He balled up with the sandwich, man. You know how when you ball up and you take the beating. So they came, attacked him,
and he protected the sandwich.
But, you know,
Riis, if we whooping him, we getting the sandwich. Riis, you ain't balling up around the sandwich. Give me that sandwich. And they didn't even take his shoes, dog. They didn't take his shoes. They didn't take his. He showed up to the door with and it wasn't even a noose, Riis, because he had a little string. Like, they didn't have like a rope. It was like one of them remember the old clothesline ropes? Yeah. That's what he had around his neck.
Man, that was even, man, it was, like I said, it was a bunch of amateurs that didn't know what they were doing. He was scared for his life. You know, just protected himself, and the sandwich just second nature. You know how you just ball up.
Sister Erica said Subway ain't that good. We was like, nah, you ain't got no. You know who got the best set? We gonna talk about. So it's restaurant week this week. I want to talk about who got the best food a little bit because we gotta have some fun. But Riis, Subway is not really the bomb no more. Do you remember when Subway was like the bomb? We used to sneak out of school to go get Subway and come back. And now I'd be like, you can keep that. All right, y'all. It's a Maze Jackson show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. Riis, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to take the social media question of the day. Plus, we're going to talk about the mayor's race, the debate yesterday, because I got to show you some of the fireworks. But it's all the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago. The violence in Chicago must stop. Willie Wilson pledges real action to do that. A revised police structure, 4 superintendents, more accessible to their neighborhoods, providing faster communication and concentration of resources. Willie Wilson pledges more integrated police patrols to increase community, confidence, and cooperation. Willie Wilson's pledge will make Chicago safer. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love. Y Familia with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about. Live in your hometown. Playing Chicagoland from January 19th through February 5th. Free parking with ticket purchase. Visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
If you're a business professional, have you ever wanted to multitask on your way to an important meeting instead of navigating through traffic? Fellowship Fleet Limousine and Bus Company is your solution for chauffeured ground transportation. Our company provides sedans, SUVs, stretch limousines, vans, and buses for corporate travel, airport transfers, and group shuttles. If you're a corporate travel manager, individual business professional, event or meeting planner, relax. Let us take the wheel. Visit fellowshipfleet.com to book right now.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. leading me beside the still waters, he restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. Please.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:10 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather updates. Head over to sports as the Bulls will fall 111-96 to the Hornets. Over the traffic now. On the Kennedy, overhead to the Loop will be 25 minutes. Outbound will be 20. On the Edens from Deerfield to the Exchange will be 31 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 28. The Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 30 minutes. Outbound will also be 30. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 42 minutes. Outbound will be 35. While the Bishop Ford is 35 minutes. I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 30 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan, 17 minutes to the Loop, 14 minutes to 95th. While DuSable Drive is locked in at 9 minutes in all directions. Today's weather, it is currently 18 degrees and partly cloudy. Today, there will be snow from now until 5 p.m. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Friday.
Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. 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 From glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. God's gonna turn it around. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord. Have mercy. Have mercy. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. And y'all know how we do. It's a little bit after 7:30. It's actually a little bit after 7 o'clock. So it's that time of the day. I got to say what's up to the Saints of WBGX, 1570 a.m. Shout out to all of them who check us out every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. That's right, 6:30 to 8 a.m. on WBGX, 1570 a.m. Now, you can also get us on your TuneIn app. Just go to your smartphone, go to your app store, and download TuneIn. Then look for WBGX 1570 AM. You can check us out every day. Again, 6:30 to 8. And then just like Sister Zakia and Big John Austin at 8 o'clock, you can switch back on over and catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Now, if you ain't old school like that and you don't want to use the radio, then you can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. I want to thank everybody. I want to remind you, to the YouTubers, check out our new features. Super chat and super thanks. So if it's super chat and super stickers. So if there's something that you like that we're saying on YouTube don't hesitate to support us to keep the thing alive, to keep the dream alive. We got bills to pay every day, Monday through Friday. Shout out to Richard Robinson and dagnabbit, the what's the transportation company? Fellowship Fleet. Shout out to Fellowship Fleet. Richard Robinson came through. I saw him at one of the mayoral candidate forums where the mayor was not at when they was talking about black business in Riis. He hit me up with the check. Hit me a check, said, here you go, Mays. We're going to put this in the account. So shout out to everybody that is stepping up and supporting the Mays Jackson Show. Shout out to Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson. Speaking of Willie Wilson, Riis, let me go ahead and hit my man off real quick. I'm gonna hit him up because he is the only
Elect Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago, increasing the police force, putting armed officers on the CTA, ensuring the police can lawfully chase criminals without prosecution. Take the handcuffs off the police and put them on the criminals. Elect Willie Wilson for mayor.
Willie Wilson is not moving up off that crime joint. He got 20 different commercials and all of them say the police, the police, the police. He was on Tucker Carlson yesterday too. Talk about hunt them down. Hey man, I don't know that the hunt them down like rabbits has hurt them the way people wanted to do.
When you look at the commercial, I actually didn't see the handcuffs go on a black man. If you look closely, did you notice that?
Let me check that out one more time. Let's see.
Elect Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago, increasing the police force, putting armed officers on the CTA, ensuring the police can lawfully chase criminals without prosecution. Take the handcuffs off the police and put them on the criminals. Elect Willie Wilson for mayor.
Okay, well, he's subtle with it. Okay. Shout out to Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson, our #1 advertiser for the year. Now, I'm just letting all y'all mayoral candidates know, like Riis, ain't we gave everybody some love? You mean to tell me, I'm going to stop reading these press releases in a minute. Like, how you got $2 million? Y'all ain't going to advertise with us none, Brandon Johnson? Like, here's what I feel like. If you are in the top 5, if you are Mayor Lori Lightfoot, she ain't coming. So Riis, play her commercial though. You can play her commercial because if she don't give us no ads, here's her commercial. We make our own then. And if y'all don't want me to start making my own commercials, you better think about it.
Now, this case was litigated in federal court. The federal judge put in place an order. There's allegations that she has violated that. A federal judge put rules in place. It's for that judge to determine whether or not that was appropriate. I'm not going to sit here and second guess a federal judge or how the information related to that matter was handled. That's for that judge who I know and is very competent and I'm sure will be fair in assessing.
Because the COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this?
Look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place! You got the wrong house! You got the wrong house!
We will and we must continue to say her name.
So here's what I'm going to do. This is what I've decided, Riis. You know how you do help or hurt? So if you in the category of tier 2 candidates, and I'm not dissing you, but you just don't have a lot of money, I'm not gonna front you. I'm not gonna push. But Riis, I've decided that probably over the next week or so, I'm gonna make, if I don't see y'all on campaigns, you gonna hear y'all. I'm gonna make my own campaign commercials. I got some great ideas for some of these campaign commercials, right? Riis, can you imagine what my campaign commercial is gonna be like? I'm gonna run my own schedule. You might have to book a day, cause I'm gonna have it all written up. And then I'm gonna put it together. Riis, I'm a good commercial maker, right? Let me see if I can show you a commercial I made one time.
No. Remember, man, we had a bigger picture, man. We can't, aggravate a lot of people. Let's rub some elbows a little bit.
Hey, man, I rub elbows all the time. Everybody be trying to rub. I'm just saying, I want to help everybody out. I want to give them some things to think about. All right? It's the Mays Jackson Show. All right, but I do have commercials for all y'all. I have a brainstorm for all y'all. So I know that the Paul Vallis buy is in the mix right now. They've already kind of confirmed it, so we got that part of it done. But yeah, man, y'all don't support the platform. It's cool. That's why I'm leaving. I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do my thing. It's the Mays Jackson Show, Riis, and I before I get into this campaign stuff, yesterday I was gonna talk about this and I didn't get a chance to, but they were saying yesterday that a Gallup poll showed that only 32% of Generation Z and millennials are engaged at their job. And they say a big chunk of why millennials and Generation Z are disengaged from their job is because they feel like their work can be done from home. And they don't understand why they got to come to the office to do work. And why do they need to be in the space for 8 hours, especially when they think they can get their jobs done at home. They're saying that millennials and Generation Z now approach work and jobs from the position of the mentality of a gig worker. Right? So even though everybody wants a salary, right? They want guaranteed income. They don't want the guaranteed time commitment that comes with it. And it really got me to thinking about not now, but the future. The future, as Rom used to say. And so today, before we get too far into this, I want to get you to hit the button.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
And I want to ask, what will success look like for the millennials and Generation Z? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-74. I don't think about just now, but I think about the future. Future, as Rom again used to say. And the mentality around work. And then I want to talk about the alignment between your aspirations and the reality of what it takes to get there. Are you waiting versus going to get it? And is power even a thing for millennials at this point in Generation Z? So give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I realize, really, honestly, that my mentality around work and work ethic is not the norm anymore. But I want to know, how does it work out in 10 years, in 15 years, when the reality of that mentality comes to fruition? When it's time to, one, buy a home, if that's even an aspiration anymore. When it is time to put your children through school. I'm really honestly concerned about the future of our country. And I understand the whole thing about capitalism, right? And everybody being against capitalism because they say it's a terrible thing, and socialism. But I also feel as though there is this mentality outside of reparations. So, Celine, don't jump on me. Don't jump on me. But outside of reparations, how will the next generation thrive without understanding work? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. You know, automation, has anybody seen, Salim had been talking about this a while, but has anybody recognized that AI is, Did anybody watch The Terminator? Has anybody seen what's happening with AI and the writing now? And now they're saying you don't have to write a book. You can just, remember that girl came on and she said, you'd be surprised what AI can do. And I wrote my book with AI and blah, 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 blah. And again, I think as we continue to, I'm on the radio. As we continue to move towards this era of guaranteed basic income, the love and desire of socialism, or the new appeal of socialism because things are not just given to you. What does the future look like? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. If you don't think that you should have maybe the workday should be shorter, maybe wages should be higher, but I don't know that there is a substitute for work ethic. And and how do you grow? How do you climb if you don't dedicate yourself to something? Right? If you don't, like, and I must be honest with you, I probably am jaded because I've never really worked a job that I didn't want to work. But I am concerned that in this world that we live in right now, as people start to think of guaranteed basic income, etc., are you creating a level of straight people who are going to exist kind of in a gray space where they're happy to go to their great, like, do they all live in the same? How do you get ahead in life? How do you achieve your dreams and goals if you don't apply or dedicate yourself to anything? It's like, I feel like a lot of times when I'm talking to people, there is no value in the dignity of work. And I'm not talking about slaving work, but how do you get ahead, right? Like, if you want to be the best basketball player, you have to work at basketball. If nobody is engaged at the job that they work at, if they feel like, well, you know, I just got to do this to get my check and I'm out, does that help you? How do you become better? How do you get your 10,000 hours to become an expert where you can be paid at a higher level? And I don't know that in this space where there is no commitment or no dedication to anything, where if you look at your job as a gig work, where it's like, I'm going to do what is necessary. What are you doing outside of that, what's necessary to move yourself ahead? Because let's say we all start at the same line of, now let's say white people got a head start. But if we as black folks don't see dignity and don't say, man, I got to put in extra to take another step beyond where I'm at, how do we get ahead? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. 32% of millennials report that they are not engaged at the job. Now, I got to be honest with you. If you're not engaged, I be thinking, like, what am I paying for? Like, I don't know. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. What's up? Caller?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Who's this?
This is Helene from New York. I haven't called in a while.
Helene, what's going on? How are you feeling all the way from New York City?
It's cold. Just like you guys are colder.
We're always colder. And we mean that both literally and figuratively. Chicago is definitely colder than New York.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you called. What's going on, sis?
Well, we love everything. Right now, I'm just in the process of moving out of my apartment. I'm waiting for the movers to donate some furniture. But other than that, this is a good topic because I have a millennial, I have 2 millennials, and I know I probably sound like a broken record, but of course, not all millennials or Gen Zs are the same. Things have changed because I'm around the same age as yourself.
Okay.
And society and social media and companies, because if anyone's checked out LinkedIn and all of these social media platforms about you don't have to stay at this career and just get ready for the next interview and so forth. And I just believe there's such a mixed message because there are some people that are dedicated and want to move up, but they're just doing it much quicker. And one thing I was listening to a podcast and it said, you can't listen if you are in your 40s or 50s. Please don't listen to your parents anymore because they have those type of positions. If the parents are 70, baby boomers, if they were working for factories or, telecommunication and so forth. I remember my mom worked for a very affluent telecommunication company, moved up, great pension, everything. And I looked at her, I said, I don't have that. So I understand what you're talking about. There are some that are not vested. But in regards to, I do believe it starts from home. It depends on how these students, the young adults have been approached in high school and those that went to college or the trade, because we got to also look at what they're teaching in the colleges. Because if you think about it, a book's not produced. By the time a textbook's produced, it's already old. So those are some of the things that we all have to think about when we do have younger generation, because some are dedicated. They're fluent, they're great, they have great ideas. But then there's others like, yeah, I'm getting a check, but is it any different from us that's been pushing papers and just have to do it because they may not have been able to go to school, or they did and they were just not invested in their career. They just wanted the dollar and chasing it. That's my point today.
So I think that's kind of my thing with finding your passion. And I think that's probably where I have messed up. Not messed up, but where I've always been in a space. When I worked at McDonald's, I wanted to be the best at McDonald's. When I worked at Burger King, I wanted to be the best at Burger King. When I then moved into lobbying, I wanted to be the best there. But I've always had something that it was never the job or the check was obviously necessary. But I've always seen, to me, there are people that no matter where you put them, no matter what circumstances, they're going to excel. And then there are people who will take the check until somebody better who has aspirations comes along and says, I want to hustle. A lot of times, and I would tell you that I don't know if it's necessarily the job or the inner person. And I think that right now we're empowering a mentality, again, of the gig worker that leads to a dead end. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't get this. I grew up and my parents was like, go to school, get a good job, and you'll get a pension and blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen for me either. But I also say that you got to make a way because nobody is going to make a way. And if they give you a salary, a subsistence, then are you content with just not being able to climb? Because I'm okay with if you cool and you don't got to do nothing and you just happy to take whatever it is, but don't expect more and expect that you'll be at the same level, right? Like if you don't put something in, you can do it, but will you climb? Like when do you move from subsistence to thriving if you're not going to be engaged in anything? If everything is like, I'm telling you, there's not a job that I have had that I have not taken away from there. And if I put my all in, and I haven't had a job I haven't put my all into, that I don't walk away from there a better person, whether it came from the employer or not. And I wonder if that mentality, like they ain't doing nothing for me, fam, it's mutual. Like there's never been a job that I did not take something away, that I did not learn how to make money. You know, a lot of people Like when I see everybody say, "Go get an LLC." I had a millennial that worked here with me a while back, and he told me, he said, "Man, I was in college and they said, remember when it was like, just go get you an LLC and don't be getting no job and get you an LLC and you start your own business and blah 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 blah." And I said, right. And then he was like, "It didn't work though." I was like, "Fam, because you don't got no experience. Why do I hire you with no experience, who didn't take your last 10 jobs seriously, and now you want to start a business, but you never learned the business itself? You saw him and said, I'm as smart as him. You didn't put in the ethic. You didn't do we heard Lil Walter talk to us last year about Malcolm Gladwell and the 10,000 hours to become an expert. And it's like, you don't start at the top, and there's got to be a progression. And I feel like everybody jumps in the game and acts like I got to start, like, man, I'm not making $50,000, well, $50,000 ain't really that much, $100,000 a year. But fam, what are you doing to get to that? And I think when you're disengaged, people see that. Like if somebody becomes indispensable, if they are, then I think companies recognize that, right? There's always 20-70-10. There's 20% of the people that are trying to be leadership. There's 70% of the people that are somewhere in between. And then there's 10% of the people that just, you're going to whack them because they're not moving your business forward. I just wonder if we let everybody say, if everybody says, man, this ain't paying me enough. I feel like I'm worth more than that. And I have overinflated my value before I've even become an expert in the space. What happens in 20 years when you have never invested in your company, never invested in a job? You don't have a business, so all you're doing is existing. How do you get ahead? Like, how do you, knowing that there's no reparations check yet, how do you get ahead if you're disengaged? Did I lose you, Ellie? How does the kid get ahead?
Hello? Yes.
How do you get ahead? I understand that. So now, how does a person get ahead? Are we going to wait for guaranteed income? Well, guess what? The guaranteed income is only for 13,000 people out of 2 million. So how do you get ahead if you don't invest in anything? If everybody is, man, I'm not 8 hours a day in work, you know what happens? You meet people at the job. There's interaction. There's new ideas generated. When you sit in a room by yourself looking at the computer, it's you and the computer. And once you're done, there is no other, your mind isn't stimulated to go find. You don't go see other things. You don't click and put ideas together. I think about when I first worked at Coca-Cola. And they was paying me $28,500 a year. But you know what I saw in that $28,500 a year? I said that while I'm doing this job, I was able to leverage that into relationships with Common, with Jay-Z, with all of the other people that put me in a mix that eventually allowed me to start my own company, that then allowed me to blow up. But how do you do it if everything you're a part of, you don't really give it anything? She quit. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you, Helene. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. How do you get ahead if you're unengaged? How do you get more? What makes the company say, okay, I'm going to pay you more if you ain't engaged? Call you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Good morning. Good morning. It's Lucretia. How you doing, Maze?
Hey, Lucretia. Thank you. I saw you. Thank you for the $50 donation, and I appreciate that. That meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? When them little things be like, ding, for all you do. I was like, oh, Lucretia, you so good. But don't you be giving me no $50 I don't want your $50 if you need it, right? But I take it. But I don't want you. But I really appreciated that. That meant a lot to me. What's going on, sis? Talk to me.
Well, I'm currently unemployed, so
you want
I'm
that $50 back?
Job.
Let me send you a $50
No,
back.
I don't want my $50 back. But I just want to share something to folks who are listening because first of all, your question is loaded. It has a lot, in it. But I think it's two different. It's a couple of different questions that you're asking. One of them, I think that you're really focusing in on is what do millennials have to do in order to be successful? Like, what will you need and what will the society require of us?
Okay.
If that's one of the questions you're asking, yes, we're going to still have to do hard work, right? However, this notion of just staying at one job and working our way up and paying our dues, no, that doesn't work for us anymore. And it's not just our fault. It's not just our fault, because what we see in the economy is that older people are not retiring when they are supposed to. They're clinging on to their jobs, right? So this notion of paying your dues is like, man, there's no new spot for you to move into, right? And also the job market, especially during COVID, very aggressive and competitive. Well, not competitive in a sense of, like, you got to do a lot. If you have some skills, like you can get ahead quick if you have the skills that are in high demand, right? And I'll just say this. It was necessary for me in my career to like job hop. If I wouldn't have job hopped, I would have been suffering at previous jobs that I worked. And it's not that I didn't want to do the work. I'm a very hard worker. I do a lot. I volunteered a lot in the community, so I don't mind doing work. You know what I'm saying? But as I tried to get paid to do community organizing work, especially from institutions that, you know, say that they're trying to do the most policy change or whatever, they were not paying that much. So if you want a lot of money, you should not be getting into nonprofit work. You should be like my friends and get into the tech industry. But just in my career, I had to keep job hunting because the employers that I had would not go up on my pay. So in order for me to get more money, I had to leave.
How long would you be there for them not to go up on your pay? Because how old are you, kid? I'm just a young lady.
I'm 33. Okay. And I would be there for, I would be there for like a year or so or less, honestly. But I'm looking at the market. I'm looking at like, hey, these people are paying this much. At one job, somebody left. I ended up having to pick up extra work, even though they kept telling me, oh, no, just keep your workload low. That wasn't true. Like, in order to function, I needed to do more work, and y'all not compensated me for this more work, so I couldn't, like, fully function. I tried to organize to get higher pay, not just for myself, but for my peers, because we were all taking up more work, and the job gave us a hard time about it, but the next place was willing to pay me what I was asking for. So I went to the next place. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm I was making better than I had ever made, because I had to leave 3 jobs basically to get to that point. So there's a lot of that happening in the economy. What we need to see from employers is to incentivize people to stay longer, to have pay that is on par with the market, you know, especially when it comes to community organizing.
But why do I put all this money in knowing that you looking, every time I put some money in, you looking around to see who gonna pay me more, and it becomes an arms race. And even if I do invest in you and somebody says, well, I got $50 more, you gonna jump to that spot, right? Like, it's a give and it's a quid pro quo. And if you're not fully engaged, if I know that 4 hours out of your day you spending looking at everybody else and what they doing as compared to climbing, as compared to saying, okay, because a lot of times I think what y'all don't make the connection to is your salary being connected to the money that you generate, right? Like, everybody feels like you got it, so spend it. But if I spend and I'm deficit spending because half of the 8 hours I'm paying you for an 8-hour day, but you are 4 hours giving me 4 hours worth of productivity, and you've decided your terms of what you should be doing, and you're putting a value on it that is not equivalent to what it makes in the world. I just don't know how you get ahead. You don't get ahead by doing the same thing. Go ahead.
I'm going to send you this documentary that was made by NBC, and it's about why Americans feel so poor. There's a woman, Black, but in Texas, talked about doing the same thing that I had to do. The economy is paying us less or on par with like what we got paid in the past, but asking us for more productivity. So you may think that we're not doing enough, but in actuality, we're doing way more than somebody in some of these roles that we're filling would have had to have done years ago, right? So and I'm not saying this is true for every job, but in general, that's the market. Like, productivity has increased, but the pay has been stagnant. And so really and truly, people who are job hopping, people who are asking for more pay, we deserve more pay, especially with inflation. Like, you're not including any of that in the conversation that you're having. And you have to keep up with the times in the markets. Like, the rents are too darn high, right? Like, everywhere. So people cannot live off of these low salaries. And so I don't know when the market is going to stabilize. But until it does, I do encourage people to do quality work. I do encourage people to, don't slack on the job. And before you try to go somewhere else, you should try to fight for pay where you were. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? But if they're not going to give you that, like, why suffer? Why, you can still gain experience and do everything that you wanted to do at that one job at the next. So that's their loss.
So
you know what I'm saying? But
let me just ask you this real quick.
Okay.
So do you, while you're at the job, do you do your best? Or do you do what you feel like you're getting paid for? Right? Like, you agree to a salary.
I do my best.
Do you agree to a salary? Do you say, I'm doing this salary, but I'm not going to do my best job? Hey man, these people paying me. Like, when I got paid $3.35 an hour to be a McDonald's hamburger person, I still gave them I didn't say, damn, I should be paying $5 an hour, so I'm going to just give them $3, what I feel is $3.35 worth of work, right? And I think, like, there's a correlation between that. I think, like, if you half-ass, then you're going to get half-ass. I think it also depends on the job that you select, right? If you decide, it's like when girl got mad because she was going to be getting paid Glorilla's Glorilla's assistant. Glorilla's assistant was like, people was like, $550 a week? What? And people was clowning. It's like, fam, you trying to get into the entertainment industry, right? You're in an industry that doesn't until you climb, and you got to pay some dues. And if we don't think that there's no dues to be paid, if there is no, like, everybody wants to look at the top salary and be like, I'm as smart as them, but how much have you put in? How much have you worked? And if you're a profit generator, check this out. If you generate profit and your profit is more than what I got to pay out to you, and I thought I was going to lose you for that, guess what? I'm going to pay more to keep you because you keep your top earners. And what winds up happening is nobody becomes invaluable. So guess what? We be like, man, I'm only investing you because I know you only going to give me, you going to half-ass me until you get out. Go ahead.
Yeah, so again, like I said, personally, I don't half-ass at a job. I always give my best, but I was almost encouraged to do that at one of the previous jobs that I had because other people weren't doing their end of the bar. And those other people, by the way, were older than me. And y'all may feel like millennials don't do our fair share of the work, but what has been brought to my attention by some of my peers is that the technology gap, like, we contribute a lot when it comes to understanding technology and not just emails, but like these new systems, these new apps that a lot of these new companies need, right? And like, y'all don't consider that the same value that you consider just the daily grind labor, but that is some value. You understanding these systems that you use, and it is in helping your revenue because you need to be able to track. A lot of the apps and systems deal with tracking data and understanding like what you are bringing in or how much work and stuff you're putting out. And the elders really suffer with that, and they rely on millennials for that assistance with those programs and stuff, but they don't treat it like it's actual labor. So it's just, I don't think that y'all are looking at things all the time in a fair way, but I know you're talking about that. I wanted you, like I said, you were evoking a lot of things when you asked this question, and I kind of wanted to really say what was on my mind, because when I think about success, I think about collective success. I hope that for my generation, the millennials, that we move away from, individuals climbing. To me, you're not successful if your whole block not successful. You should be coming up with everybody who you been raised with, your family, the community that you live in.
Does everybody carry the same load on your block? Is there a range of people on your block? Is there somebody that gets up on your block every day and goes to work? And is there somebody on that same block that's standing on the corner working a jab?
Yeah, there are always going to be different levels, but you're right. You should be trying to get that lowest performer to be at their best. I agree with you on that. And I hope that we do take that on. But again, I don't think that y'all are being fair about when we are giving our best. We're doing what we know how to do. Like I said, we're good at the data, the technology, that type of stuff.
But again, so if look, Lucretia, but if the job 20 years ago required you to do longhand division and subtraction, right? Let's just play like that. Mm-hmm. That's where I came up at. So I spent maybe 5 hours doing the equations, and now you got an iPhone, and now you learned how to work an iPhone. It doesn't mean that now now because you got an iPhone and that 5-hour job is now a 2-minute job. It doesn't mean now that you're doing more or you have more value. It's like you have more tools to do the job, and means it frees you up. Yeah. Technology and apps, and that's kind of the thing. Everybody want to put an app on it, and the reason people aren't leaving the marketplace now, one is because companies are now recognizing that they would rather have a Generation X or Y person, because the Generation Z person has no loyalty or dedication and so now you're seeing, like, when you're looking at now, the number one people that employers are trying to get are people that were older who understand what it takes to make a business go. And I think everybody thinks that everything is an app, so I should be able to push a button. And me pushing a button now, because the computer does all the work and I push the button, now I'm equivalent to someone who actually is committed to the company, committed to the growth, and understands their place in there.
I wonder what companies you're talking about, who are looking for people who are more older in age. Okay. Well, I wonder what jobs you want them to do, because the jobs that we need in the future deal with social media, deal with being engaging in people on these new systems that we have. And if you don't know how to work those systems, what value are you adding, right? And I'm not saying that elders don't add any value, but I'm just, again, I don't think you're being fair about the value that young people are bringing with the new technology and the new systems that we have. You know, you have to balance it out. I think you need both in the workplace, right? You need the people who understand the old systems and because if you don't understand the old way of doing things, the new systems aren't really going to be helpful either, right? Like, they need to be made in a way that meets the needs and stuff like that. And sometimes the younger people don't understand the full needs or the full industry, right? Because we are new and coming into the market. But yeah, I hope for our generation we can focus more on collective success. All this individualism, you're not successful if everybody you grew up with is still below the poverty line, right? And I hope that that's the thing that changes. I also hope that our generation owns more land and more property. We're getting pushed out of the city. How you gonna own the land and property if you ain't got no job? If you can't pay for it, so check this out. And I just gotta say this, right? The people who always got ahead recognize that they weren't gonna get ahead working at the 40-hour-a-week job. That job was subsistence. And then it was always the granddaddy who had a side job or side something that put some extra money that allowed me to move forward. I don't know that. And then depending on the job. So if you have a low-wage, low-paying job because you don't have the skill set, you could push the button, you could TikTok, but if you don't have the monetizable skill set that grows my business, then you have a finite value, right? Like, there's only so much I'm gonna pay somebody to make hamburgers. Now, if you can then take the hamburgers and now you can decrease the food waste and you can increase the profitability, well, now you start to talk about my bottom line. And I think this is the difference between, I am a business owner, right? And I just think, like, there was never a time
When I worked at Coke, when I worked at Sprite, I said, this is not going to limit me. I'm going to take the tools that I got here. I'm going to bust my ass here. But I also know that at 40 hours, I'm bouncing out and I'm going to work. I worked 70 hours a week because I spent 40 hours doing the things that I needed to subsist. And then I took those things and started to monetize them. But it took 20 hours extra a week. And I guess, how do you get ahead?
But Maze, to be fair, in this economy, we are barely surviving with the wages that we're getting. And like I said, we're not keeping up with inflation. We cannot afford the homes and stuff in our community. Like, we're getting priced out. So if we need more wages in order to even afford what is being offered in this market, the housing market, we need more money. So the market has to stabilize, but the workers, and I know you're a small business owner, like, it's different for you, right? But like, I don't know what that looks like, but we're not wrong. The millennials are not wrong for wanting more money because we cannot afford to have anything on poverty wages.
But
you know what I'm
you're
saying?
only working 4 hours out of the day, right? Like,
but listen, why are we still trying to work 8 hours a day? If you can do more with less, right? Because you mentioned that earlier with technology, you can do more with less. If I'm
use
still
an app to do it.
No, because the cost of living is high. That's why. No, Maze. The cost of living is higher, so we should be getting paid more. Period. Okay.
So I'm saying there are people
Respect
that do
labor.
get paid. But sis, do realize there are people that are making that everybody is not poor and subsisting. Right, and the people that are poor and are not poor and subsisting, in some cases, recognize that they have to do more. That's why some people go back to college, because they be like, "Man, I chose this position." If you go to work at Burger King, I do not believe that you should be able to live. If you go to work at Burger King and you're making minimum wage, realistically, you've set your own bar unless you plan to hustle more. Right? Burger King should not become a $30 an hour job. Right? If you think Burger King should become a $30 an hour job, that means that the price of food is going to go up. The price of food has gone up. But there has to be a progression, right? You can't be like, man, I got this job and now they not paying me enough, but I'm only going to give it half-ass, and then I give it half-ass, and then be expecting them to raise the salary. There's still got to be some correlation between production and pay. I just think so. But I appreciate you. We're going to have this conversation, though. I think that when we have the podcast, this is one of those conversations that we'll have. I just think about 32% of the people, that only 32% of the people are engaged in the job that they do. That means that you have 68% lack of productivity. If you only are giving 32% to a job that you made a commitment to, that you agreed to take, and you like, man, you're really just beating the employer. And the employer says, okay, if I only get 32% out of the day, it's still 100% in the day. So I got to have 3 people to give me 100% as compared to 1 person. Now, if I got to split the 33%, the 33, 33, and 33, I got to hire 3 employees to do what 1 person could do if they were fully engaged in the job. You keep killing yourself. Like, I don't think, again, I am now 52. I recognize that the hard work that I put in at 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 is now paying off to me at 50. But if I was a 32%er, I probably would be looking around like, damn, I'm never going to catch up. You're never going to get ahead from your employer. Let's back up. You can get ahead from your employer if you're an earner. If you are a doer, if you are not, every company, if you pay attention to the number 1 people they keep, guess who they keep? Salespeople. They'll cut everything else but sales because those people are income generators. And I think that's part of the challenge that people don't understand. There is a direct correlation between production and salary. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hey.
Caller? Is it gone? All right, y'all. Y'all have worn me out today. But let me just say this. The concept of 32% of only 32% of a generation being fully engaged in the job that they decided to take, regardless. It makes me wonder what will get you to 100% so that you can live to your fullest capacity, right? And that's all I'm really saying. You have the right to do whatever you want to do in your workplace. My concern, and it's like what my concern with my daughter and my kids is, like, what do you do? Dad gave you a head start, but what are you going to do to maintain the head start? Are you going to sit back and wait and say, man, my dad worked in, or are you going to say whatever jobs you take, you're going to be the best at it so you can become the top and be in the top earning position? Are you going to make yourself indisposable where people say you leaving? If people say you leaving and they don't say, ooh, let me save you, you've defined your finite value. They say you're replaceable. Then there are people that walk up to the door and they be like, yo. Sometimes people say, hey, it's all good. I'm going to take what I can get and I'm going to maximize it until I can work around it. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. 32% engaged in a job that I pay you 100% for. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. What's up, caller?
Hey, Mays.
Ron! Oh, Ron, you in trouble. You already in trouble from yesterday.
I know, this is my favorite show.
I know. It be getting people hot. People get hot when you say, like, man, not Riis, Ron, I don't know anybody black. Let me not say that, because I do know some high earners that got good college jobs out of college and they employers play. But I think that most black people that I know that have succeeded recognize that they had to go a little bit further, whether they bought an apartment building and then got other income, whether they put, like the granddad he worked at the post office, but on the weekend he was a bricklayer. And so he was working, I used to have to, when we lived in Chicago, my old man worked at IBM, and you know what he did? He asked to be the building janitor. He was the only person that went to work in a suit every day. He asked to be the building janitor so that we could decrease the amount of rent that we could pay, so that, guess what? So that he could buy a house in the suburbs so we could move. And by being the janitor of the building and sweeping and mopping and picking up people's garbage and doing all that, he was able to get ahead, to get up and get out. But if you feel like, man, I'm owed better, regardless, just because I show up, I don't know how you get ahead. Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
No, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to make it real quick because this is tied into what I said yesterday. First of all, the young lady who said that they're older people who are not leaving the job. That's not true. Statistics don't bear that out. The majority of the people that have left the workforce, and tell the young lady to look it up, are people 65 years and older. And it actually started through the pandemic. And the reason I know, because I fit in that category. See, so that's not true. Not true. So, exactly, Mays. There is no old way, new way. It's one way of doing things. Now, what I explained to you yesterday, and it's exactly what you said. We were bagging groceries, and Jules decided, well, we can just give you the minimum hours, sometimes 15 hours. Okay, we were making a little decent wage at that time for retail. So real quick, man, me and my partner said, well, man, look, we ain't gonna be able to drive our dates. Go to the cons with our dates on the bus. We got to get cars. We can get apartments. So this is what happened. This is true. And people say, well, look, man, I'm going to go to UPS. And guess what we did? Some people stayed at you. Some people say, man, look, I'm going to People's Gate. I'm going to Commonwealth Desk, Police Department. All of these people, this is 40 years later, and people try to say, well, it was this. No, it's no different, real quick. So, yeah, I am. I never chose to be an entrepreneur. I chose the right decision as far as competency made. For 3 years, I worked 2 jobs, went to school, all of that. But if you don't want to put it in, and now I do own a home. I have a pension, Social Security, and a 403. I'm just saying, to me, and I'm not special. The same people that I started with doing that. And guess what, man? A lot of them didn't even go to school. But you gotta figure out. You gotta put something in. Lastly, there's a young lady that was working for my neighbor. It was a PA. So I asked my neighbor.
What's
I said,
a
"What
PA?
happened today?" You know, personal assistant. You know how they come to your house and get service.
Okay.
She said she went to work for Ford. Now, on my block, majority of people who own their home, guess what they worked for? Ford. But the young lady realized a personal assistant, I'm not going to be able to. I don't see what's complicated about this. And again, the job market's changed. Things are different for me and my friends. Our fathers and uncles were in the factories. And that went away. So we had to look and say, okay, well, what are we going to get into? But Mace, if you just think that you deserve something and something more just because you ask it, that's not true. And again, and I'll go on this, even when I was talking about buying homes or people just staying in the same situation, well, you really don't have a right to demand anything. I used an example yesterday. I can't eat on the bus. That's public transportation. I do what I want to do in my car. I can smoke a cigarette.
Or
I can pull over and drink. That's yeah, right? That's legal. Hey, that's my car. So, and it seems like a simple analogy made, but it's true. But yeah, you notice this, and you hitting on it. When you were at those different places, Burger King, where man, you decided you wanted to do something else. And again, it was across the board with all of us. And we wasn't gonna force Jules' hand, and guess what? We appreciated it. It gave us an opportunity to do something. Can I just take 1 minute and tell you something that's very special to me? There was a writer, Mary Schmidt, for the Tribune, and years ago, she asked people to send in a story about a lady that was important in your life that wasn't your mom. Okay, I wrote that this manager, S.C. Boyd, was our manager at Jules Mason. She emailed me. I had it. She said, "Ron Chandler, can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Of all the entries that I received, I found yours to be the most interesting." That following Mother's Day, it was printed. But what I told her, I said, she told her, you show up. You show up on time, know who your customers are, you do your job, and that's it. And years later, we got together and took her out and stuff, because she just showed us the basic principles. And that's why we appreciated that. And we was just bagging growth. So, no, and the reason I like to talk about the whole work situation, Maze, because it has worked for me. I put my kids through school. I live a comfortable life. My wife is retired. And so other people, you can do the gig thing, whatever. That's what works for me and the majority of my friends. And we do not live in poverty. Have a good weekend, man. Celebrate your birthday. I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Ron. Can I tell y'all something, too? I think I'm going to take Riis off that page because Riis be telling us the stories. But I think a lot of our parents made it look easy. A lot of our parents went through and did way extra to make sure that you didn't suffer, that you didn't feel it, right? But they had to do extra. They worked longer, they worked different, and I'm not suggesting, like, there is a dignity in work, right? And I think when you think about a lot of people, previously they took pride in their job because they recognized what it provided them. The birth of this conversation is fear for the next generation. In that, you know how we talk about reparations, and Riis, you'll be like, man, we done missed that clip, that chop. I believe in reparations and I want them. But I got to be honest with you, I can't wait for them. I can't stop. And if the world that I live in requires, I tell people all the time, if I did not have the blessings that I had, work-wise, but it's not really blessings. It is the end accomplishment of all of the time that I put in. If I needed to go to Burger King and work 40 hours and McDonald's 40 hours a week to make sure that my family lived at the lifestyle that they did, that's what I would do. I think about the gig economy now, which a lot of people have accepted and have brought into their space, but now you took it because you wanted the freedom of not having to report to a space. Now they want the gig job to have the same benefits of being a full-time employee. And it seems like there is this thought that someone owes you something. And I do think the owed is the public housing, is the social services, etc. And I think everybody is eligible to get those. But if you decide that you want more for yourself until the world in and of itself changes, disengagement, like I loved working at Coca-Cola, Sprite, and I was loyal. But I also was loyal to myself and knew that they were a means to an end. And I was there building relationships and making things happen so that when I walked away, it is. You don't start a business in something that you don't know nothing about. You usually start a successful business because you've worked in a business for years and years and years and years. And then you start to build relationships, you build a reputation, and then you step out on your own. I do not begrudge people the right to set their standards at all. But understand that you determine your income in a lot of cases. You determine where you're going to go. You determine where you're going to end. Nobody is a slave. Nobody is an indentured servant. And I think we get confused because what happens no matter who it is the employee can say I'm through or the boss can say I'm through. Now, the question, both of those people will continue. They will not die. They will not go away. Life moves on. And I'm just suggesting to you that if you look at a 32%er, and I'm looking at it as a person that only has X number, you got to want more for yourself and say that if you decide you're going in a nonprofit, understand you're not going to make $1 million. Understand that if you go into a nonprofit, you're probably not going to live. You'll find a place, but you ain't going to be living in the West Loop because them are $1 million apartments. You're not owed that. Now, if you want to live in $1 million apartment, you have to put a plan together to be able to get to $1 million. Now, it don't have to be one company. You could say, I'm pulling 20 different things together to get there. But the market drives a big chunk of that. And all I'm suggesting, my biggest concern for our future, and it's like I have these conversations with my daughter who is now seeing the benefit of putting all the way in, because now, shoot, she makes, I can't tell you what she makes, but she done whooped me at her age. But it is that same work ethic that when she walks in, there's nobody that says, man, I know. Now, at 5 o'clock, she is not staying past 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, she hitting the door. Don't ask her for nothing else, whatever it is. But during that 8 hours, you can hand her everything in the whole entire world. And she is going to be, Dad, I can't talk to you right now because I got to get my. But at 5 o'clock, let me tell you what, we going to get Jersey. Like, she is closing the. Now, if you ask her for a long. But also there are times when you get assigned a special project and she'll be like, man, I'd be like, girl, they're giving you a special project. This is an opportunity. They not paying me no more. This is an opportunity for you to meet and work with other people. Let me point out to Ron, Lucretia cited sources that say, actually AAPR. Was it? Yeah, AAPR. That says that that adults are staying in their jobs longer, older. But can I tell you why? Because they got millennials who are giving 32%. And they back at their house. Talking about I can't get a crib because I don't make enough money. Family, you better hit the app. You better get you some McDonald's. You better do, right? Like, and parents have a responsibility to their children. So a lot of people that I know stay in and they work so their kid can go to college. I think my girl Katie went back to work, right? Because they're going, and there is a greater market for us now to get paid better because we're not doing 32%. When we come to the job, we're doing the whole thing. There's a lot tied up to it, but my biggest concern for everybody involved is not today. Like, I get, and the gig economy sounds good, et cetera, blah, 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 and no dedication, and these people ain't doing anything. But I'm 50 now, right? And I look back to how I got to where, and if you would have asked me at 30, I'd be like, man, this is crazy. If you would have asked me at 40, dang, this is crazy. I'm at 50, and now I'm able to do the things that I want to do and be able to do for my family to put them in a better position so that they can then take the next step too. But they have to know that the way to get to it, there is no substitute for hard work, family. There just isn't. You don't become the best from 9 to 5. You become the best from 5 to 9. 9 to 5, I pay for. Not me, but the employer. So if you're going to get better, if you're going to become, you become the best from 5 to 9. Are you at the crib? You know how many people be at the studio and then they work, but then they be making beats at night? Remember how many artists started out working for Puffy and they was nobodies, like the Neptunes, all of those people, and they would all be under D. Angeletti and Puffy would come in and put his name on it and then be like, I'm super producer of this whole joint. Then eventually they build a reputation, they graduate, and then they become blossomed millionaires. But there are dues to pay. I know y'all don't want to believe that, but there are dues to pay in every industry. You don't start out at the top. Unless you have nepotism and you own. But if you pay attention, the reason that most people who have nepotism in the space, they make their kid go work at the ground, go work on the truck, go do all the stuff first so that you understand what's going to happen. Because there could be a day when everybody walks away from you. Do you die when everybody walks away? Does your business die when everybody walks away? Or are you able to still stand in and fill in all those spots? Whew. There is no substitute for hard work. And you play how you practice. So if you play at 32% in practice, you're gonna play 32% in the game. No matter how much you think you dope, you're gonna be a 32%er in the game. Because guess what? If you was giving me 32%, when you got to be in the fourth quarter and you got to run up and down the court, you're going to be tired. Because in practice, when we was going full speed, that's the reason the coach make you do the suicides. So that when it's time to gut it out, when the times get tough, you ain't like, damn, I wasn't experienced at this. Caller. Is there any more callers? All right, y'all. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Riis, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, I want to talk about Restaurant Week. Because I want to know, what are the best restaurants in Chicago? Who are your go-tos? It's Restaurant Week. And so, you go out and you check out new restaurants, but I want to know, who are the go-tos? Who do you try? Who got the best? So let's talk about the best food in the city of Chicago when we come back. Let's have a little fun. And I expect y'all to call in because, I want to know, what's the best restaurants? Who is your go-to? And does it have to only be black-owned? Because, it's only so many soul food restaurants, right? So let's talk about it all when we come back. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Riis, when we come back, do the 7 o'clock top, not the 6, you know what I'm saying. All right, y'all, we'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Elect Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago. Crime is out of control. Parents are frightened for their children. Downtown and our neighborhoods are at risk. Even gas stations are targets. We will fight back to protect our community. Elect Willie Wilson for mayor.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love. Y Familia with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about. Live in your hometown. Playing Chicagoland from January 19th through February 5th. Free parking with ticket purchase. Visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
I got that 10K the other day, but it's already gone away. I had some bills that I had to pay. I need my money. I roll the money. Y'all know the hustle. I need my money. I roll the money. I need my money. I roll the money. I need my check, my 10K, my 10K, my 10K, my 10K. Y'all know the hustle for that bag. Went to the ATM, 2 or 3 of them. I put my card in, but no cash came out. I wanted to shout. See, if you're rich, you can get a bad bill. But if you're poor, all you're gonna hear is no, 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 no. I need my money. I roll the money. I need my money. I need my 10K, my 10K, my 10K.
You know the last time I asked you for my money,
Baby, what's going on?
and you gave me some lame excuse.
I can't
I don't want to hear none of that.
But ain't no here
Give me my money.
I ain't got nothing else for you. You better leave me alone. This is my roll of money. Y'all know the hustle, and y'all know how we hustle. You know I gotta secure that bag, and you know I gotta hustle. Y'all know, 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 y'all know the hustle. Nigga gon' hustle. 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 Get that bag.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mays and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed and solve wrong.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I was going to move on, but I got to say this. Y'all have screwed up working smarter, not harder. Y'all really do. Like, working smarter, not harder doesn't mean you don't do... let me just use the example I gave on the chat. Working smarter, not harder means if you have a shovel, you dig a hole in 2 hours. If you had to dig it with your hands, it would be 8 hours. Right? The smarter move is to take the shovel and dig the hole in 2 hours. Now, that doesn't mean that you have the rest of the day off. It means that you can dig 4 more holes in the same amount of time that it would have ordinarily taken you to do 1. Yes, the NFL is a nonprofit, so are the bowls, etc. But we're not talking about those nonprofits. We're talking about the nonprofits that really subsist and they don't have the money to pay you bazillions of dollars. So this is why I used to say black people screw up when they go into social services, and it doubly impacts us. It's the first thing that they cut, and we use it for jobs and we use it for the services. It seems as though people feel like they should be paid to live their dreams, and there is no correlation between income and outcome. If you work at a social service that takes in $1 million and they've got 10 employees, they've got overhead, there is no connection to all of the costs. And I want y'all to understand, you can always use the extreme example of the NFL as a nonprofit. I don't think there's anybody that's working at the NFL, though, that's complaining about what they're getting paid. Fair? Maybe the intern. But like if you work at the NFL, the odds are, nonprofit or not, because it's a well-funded nonprofit, you're not complaining about how much money you make. It seems like people want to be paid at the job for their activism. Family, you know how I am able to have this conversation, to be able to stand here every morning? I have to work extra hard. I have to work additional. This is not funded by the body. So when I have to walk into the radio station and drop that $15,000 or that $10,000, there's nothing that this is my form of activism. You know how I finance my activism? With my work. We literally pay for this because I work harder. And you get to get up and benefit from it. And I'm not saying it as a diss, but you get to get in nobody says, damn, I don't wake up and I talk smack, but I don't expect that you're going to pay for the radio station. I love the donations, but let's be clear. It's like everybody got a request. Everybody got a demand. They be like, why we ain't doing this? How come you don't take the extra time to do this? Family, I have to pay for all of that. Everybody has a suggestion about what I should do, because guess what? They're counting my work, my personal work, my personal time goes to the community. The people that make the contributions, like to nonprofits, take their own money that they've not earned from something that someone gave them. You expect your oppressors to finance your liberation? No, somebody has to say, I'm going to do more. I'm going to go and be above and beyond. And it's amazing to me because the people who have demands for something that they ain't put nothing into. Chris be talking smack like, man, you ain't got no commercials. Again, $50. $50. Shout out to my girl Lucretia who sent the $50. And I want you to take it back because you ain't got a job. And I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying it as I don't want to take from my people. Now, if you got extra, if y'all all put in $1 a day, then you probably could finance it. But on payday, I don't see nobody ponying up on turn in the money day for the radio. Nobody's really ponying up. We got people like John and Boosie and those that do regulars. But I'm saying, like, nobody's financing your passion unless they can figure out a way that it's going to be beneficial to them. It's crazy, man. There is no substitute for hard work. There's just not. And if you give half-ass after you agreed, because you agreed, and then you it's like an Indian giver. Yes, everybody wants it when they first start because they got their stomach to their back. But once your stomach off your back, then you be looking around like, man, they don't appreciate me. Family, what are you doing to move the organization forward so they can pay you more? This sense of, and I love the reparations conversation, but I almost feel like it puts this hope in the universe that's not realistic. Somebody called us dysfunctional because we had work ethic, because we had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and right, and like, to me, if you live in a circumstance that you don't like, you gonna change it, or you gonna wait for somebody else to change it? I think when you look at so many stories, there are so many people who are driven by their lack. They said they're not gonna go through this. Then there are people that are like, man, I'm gonna do this until my check comes. It is all, and I think my biggest concern for our millennials is the hope that there is no Calvary, y'all. There is no Calvary. When Riis got to pay tuition, when Riis got to pay rent, Riis, who putting it on your rent? Riis, you got 4 freaking jobs. Riis he do this, he go to Bowfields, and he drive an Uber. Why? Because he says, I'm not going to fall off. The morning show is 15 hours a week. That's part of his mix. Till GCI call and be like, yo, man, we want you to come. But GCI going to tell you it's $12, $15 an hour because we GCI. Go ask the people the board ops, right? But what I'm saying is, Riis, who you waiting on to come save your family? I just want you all to prepare yourselves for the reality. And Carlos, you need to chill out, fam, because you about to hit the button. We know them. We don't necessarily know you, and I'm not trying to hate on you, but like you really in the joint acting up. So it's like, I want the best for everybody, but I gotta help y'all understand that there is nobody financing personally your comfort. You have to say, either I have to do better, work harder, or go get re-educated and get into a different industry. And then you hope that at some point at some point hard work means that someone recognizes that. Now, there are people that this is what I would say. If you say you're leaving and the company don't be like, oh my God, you got to stay. They probably know you're 32%. And they be like, man, maybe this time I can get a 46%. Or they say, let me go find an old person, retrain them, because I know they're going to give me 100. And that's why you see now salaries increasing and you see 65-year-olds going back into the marketplace because they like, damn, I can get money that I couldn't get before because the workforce is jacked. Oh, Lord. It's the Mays Jackson Show. I do these conversations, man, and it's like, I think about the gig people. Man, we don't want to punch no clock. Man, we tired of the boss telling us what to do. Then when they run into the fact that they ain't got no health insurance because they went to the gig. Now they want to go to the government and go complain and now change the industry. What? Remember when you work at Uber and I ask you, I ask you to let the window up. You say you ain't gonna let the window up. I give you a negative review. You get kicked off the platform. Now you want me to have to pay. You want all us to pay because you didn't recognize that regardless of you're a gig, you're a service industry. People are paying you for a service. I should be happy that I paid whatever rate it was to get in your car and I got to ride and be like, thank you for giving me a ride that I'm paying for? No, I'm paying for this. Now, I don't understand all the tiers, so I don't get that part. But what I'm saying is, let me get in the car that I paid for and the dude tell me he ain't letting the window up. And we've been in situations like that where Carrie be like, could you let the window up? And he's like, well, can you let the window up? No, fam, this is a Uber Esh. Okay, I'm going to hit you with the 0 stars and I'm going to call in. Why I got to be cold? Because you decided that it's your car, but you own this platform that says that I'm paying for the customer service. It's like you give your best to me no matter what you do. There's nothing you can find me in where I'm going to get involved with and I'm going to do a half-ass. There's nothing. I'm going to be the best because I have recognized, even when I worked at McDonald's, that there was the people who came to work every day. Then there was the store. There was us employees. There was the store manager. Then there was the regional manager who had a car, showed up, and we all had to kiss butt. And then there was the people that were above them that went to the corporate headquarters. And I saw the level of progression. And whether you believe that exists or not, it does. It's just you've put yourself out of that space because you at 32%. Dog, why you working so hard? They ain't gonna give you no more. It's the person that always, when you be asking them, why you working so hard? It's that person that everybody be like, when there's an opportunity, we giving it to that person. If I ask you to show up with a uniform and look a certain way because you're a representation of me and my client, and so I make money because I beat people all the time because of my service level, because of my understanding of corporate versus being on the street. So it may not be a big deal to you that you don't iron your uniform. But can I tell you who I'm going? When I got a big show, guess who I'm calling? The person who irons their uniform. Man, why you got to iron this uniform to come to McDonald's every day? I used to press my McDonald's uniform, shirt and pants every day. And I asked for 2 uniforms so I could always be clean. There was people, man, we was happy that they came to work, but they was dirty. Their uniform was jacked up. They could put on their apron. But guess what they couldn't do? When it was time to go work the register, they couldn't come up front because they looked terrible. When it was time to be like, okay, we want to introduce the people to the regional manager, guess what they did? They picked the person with the clean uniform who showed up to work and did their thing. And that's how things happen. It's the things that, and again, the employer knows that, and it becomes a unique selling proposition. And so we have tiers of people. Like there's people that got to come because you need to get the lights turned on. And if I can't operate without the lights turned on, I'm going to pay you to turn the lights on. But I know that when the time comes, there's going to be somebody that's willing to turn on the lights, smile, and be like, hi, sir. Hi, ma'am. Welcome. That's not everybody. Man, bus dude over there. Then there's the person, hi, welcome to, when they used to give you the manual and they'd be like, hi. You greet people with a smile. It'd be like, man, be people like, welcome to McDonald's. I'd be like, hi, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order, please? Secret shoppers in the damn drive-thru. When you get your review, it's like your greeter at the drive-thru was excellent. Clean uniform, smiled, made me feel pleasant in the drive-thru. The people that are usually the nerds, the ones you be like, why are you following the rules? There's reasons that the rules are in the rule book. It's a reason I tell you to dress the way. It's a reason that I ask you to do the things that I ask you to do. Because you are a representative and you can help my profit or you can hurt it. People used to be mad at us I'd be like, why are you eating you can't eat during a promotion. I'm about to give me a plate. You see all that food over there? Family, you can't be sitting behind the table where you're supposed to be greeting people with your mouth full of food and you got to put your plate down when I'm paying you not to eat. I'm paying you to be the service. They all have correlations. When they tell you to fry the French fries at $3.25 and you decide that you're going to fry them at $3.50, but you ain't changed the timer. But because you see what you want to see in yourself, not how it benefits the company, damn, I got burnt fries every week coming up. But I need you to, but I can't not have no fries during the rush till somebody comes by and, remember the guy that come by and check the temperature? Why you doing that, man? Because as McDonald's, we have standards that every time you come into a place, there's supposed to be an expectation. No, I'm saying, no, my idea of hard work is giving all that I've got while I'm doing whatever I'm doing, right? When you ask me to do something and you ask me to be on your team, do you want me to give you 32% when we fighting over reparations? You care about that though, right? So now you care about it. So now if I say, man, I'll get there at 1 o'clock, but we're starting to march I'll bring the papers at 12:45. It is about, to me, your integrity. It's more than just, I'm not going to invest in someone that doesn't have I just feel like y'all got to understand that you're not hurt. The company is going to survive 9 times out of 10 unless you're stealing all their stuff. You care about reparations. So could you imagine if every meeting I came to and every time we talked about it, I was 32% in? We said we're gonna carry flags. I'm gonna bring 32% of the flags. Maze, this is what I have passion about. So now I gotta y'all find something you're passionate about. Let me just suggest this. Find something that you are passionate about so that when you do it, you don't feel like you're getting cheated. You feel like you are building. And for me, everything that I have ever involved myself in, I look at it as a mutually beneficial relationship regardless of the pay. But you have a right to say yes or no. All right. Anybody on the line? That's it. All right, y'all, let's move on. Dang, I was going to talk about this debate. Can I just play a couple pieces that I want y'all to hear? Riis. Come on, because yesterday the mayor and them was debating. Let me get to some of my points. I just thought that this was good. So, and then we're going to do Tell Me Something Good Friday. Where we at? Let's start with, did y'all watch the debate yesterday? Let's start here. All right, Riis, you ready? Hold on, let me see if I got this thing. I just want to play a couple clips from the mayor's debate yesterday because it was real interesting. And I'd be like, Mayor Lightfoot is peculiar, Riis. I be feeling like, do you know who you're talking to? She is something else. And I don't know that there's anybody in this city of Chicago that the mayor respects. But I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to start with this clip from yesterday.